Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie Colours. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am here with my May completed pages for 2024. I managed to get 15 pages done in May, and I have one whip, so I had quite a good month, all things considered. I normally kind of average around about 12 pages, I think, so this was quite a good month for me. Some of them are a little bit more involved, some are quite simple, so yeah, there's a good mix. So I'll start with my whip, which is in Juwelenkistje. I think I'm saying that right. It's Jewellery Box anyway, by Hanna Karlzon. And this is my first page in this book, and I am doing this page, which is a beautiful floral page with this lovely spider web in the middle. My lovely friend Katia from Bubble of Colouring has been working through this book in order, and I was inspired by her to buy this book because I've seen all her amazing pages and she has done some absolutely stunning pages. If you haven't checked out her channel or her Instagram, please do. I'll leave her link below. So she kind of inspired me to get the book, and I decided that I really needed to start a page. So I was flicking through and I came across this one, and I'm on a real floral kick at the moment, really enjoying colouring flowers. I always enjoy colouring flowers, to be honest. So I decided to do this one, and I'm using a colour palette. This is a Sarah Renee Clark colour palette. I'm using just pencils, so I'm using my Black Widow pencils. So it's a little bit of a slow process, but I am really enjoying it, and I'm quite happy with what I've done so far. So I'm hoping this one will pan out and I'll get it done hopefully in the next few days. So that is my very first one, which is a whip from Juwelenkistje, or Jewellery Box, by Hanna Karlzon. Okay, so next up I have a couple of my Colour by Numbers books. I have to zoom you out ever so slightly. Oh, that's going in. Let's try that. So this is the Disney Disney Best of Le Grand Classiques, Coloriages Mystéres by Art Therapy Hatchet Heroes. And the illustrators of this book are William Boules, Jérémy Mariez, and Laetitia Sala, and Edouard of Vauthey. So, being Mermaid, I of course had to do an Ariel page. So I did this one, and I just love these books. They're really simple, really easy, very mindless colouring. I don't spend huge amounts of time on these pages. I just kind of do them for a little bit of relaxation. So for this I used a black Artistro paint pen for all of the black line details, and then everything else was done with my Crayola super tip markers, and it was a lot of fun. I did smudge the paint pen here, but no biggie. This is just a really fun book that I enjoy picking up every now and then and doing something quick and easy in, and these pages take no time at all. Once you've kind of done the outlines, it's quite simple. So that was a really fun one to do for Mermaid. So that was from Best of Le Grand Classique, Coloriages Mystéres, by Art Therapy Hatchet Heroes. And then I have another of those colour by number books. This one is the Princesses Coloriages Mystéres, Disney Princesses. It's again Art Therapy Hatchet Hero, and the illustrator of this one is Jérémy Mariez. And again, I chose to do an Ariel page. So let me flip her around so you can see her there. And yeah, she's just really, really cute. Just absolutely adorable. I love this one. So again, I used Artistro paint pens for the kind of outline areas, and then my Crayola super tips for colouring everything else. My colours weren't exactly the same as what they've got listed here, but close enough. And yeah, again, just a really fun one to do. So that was my second Colour by Numbers page from Princesses Coloriages Mystéres by Art Therapy Hatchet Heroes. Okay, I'm going to try and zoom you in again a little bit. I never know which way to go. Okay, sorry about that. I was just trying to sort my camera out a bit, so I had it kind of a bit more square on. So on to my next 2 completed pages. So I was inspired by Coloured by Maya. I believe that's her channel name. I will leave it again listed in the description box below to purchase these books. She had flip throughs of these books on her channel, and she did some colouring in these books. And I was looking on Amazon and I found them on there, and they were really, really good price, and I snapped them up. And they are colouring books for kids. So we've got Calming Colouring for Kids and Dream Colouring for Kids. But these ones are a lot of fun. So I start with this one, the Dream Colouring for Kids. This one is illustrated by Anastasya Tkachova. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's a really cute little book. There's lots of fun little images in here. Yes, they are quite childlike, but there's quite a lot of detail in the pages as well, and they're just fun to colour. So yeah, I'm glad I got this one. This is my preferred book. I do like the images in this book a little bit better than the other one, but they're both really, really cute. So I took both these books into hospital with me when I had to go in for my operation. And after my operation, in the days that followed, I had to stay in hospital. I did a page in each of these books. So I did this one, first of all. Let me just move all these out of the way. So this was the first page that I did, and it's not my best work. I wasn't feeling 100%. I had cannulas in and yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, but it was a fun page to do, and it did take my mind off things and help me to relax and not be too stressed out. So I just took my Albrecht Dürer pencils in with me. So I coloured this with Albrecht Dürer, activated with water, and then used them dry just to add a little bit of pencil shading. And I also took my gel pens with me. So I had Pentel Sparkle Pop, which I've used kind of in these turquoise and orange areas, and the pink as well. I used a white Signo gel pen to go around my waves, and I used gold Signo on my stars and moon. So it's got a lot of sparkle on this page. Hopefully you can see that in the light, but I just thought this was a really fun page. It was pretty mindless colouring for me. I didn't do a really good job of this. It's a bit messy in places. Like up here, I've had some colour bleeding, and yeah, it's not perfect, but it was a nice distraction while I was in hospital. And this is such a fun book. So that was from Dream Colouring for Kids, and that one is illustrated by Anastasya Tkachova. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So then in the second book, the Calming Colouring for Kids, and this is a different illustrator. This one is illustrated by Marusha Belle. I just did one page while I was in hospital, and I chose to do this little funny page. I just thought it was nice and easy and lots of big spaces. Again, I just had my Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils with me, so I used them activated with water and then went over dry to add some pencil shading. And I used some Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust just on my flowers, just in little areas. You can see where I've smudged it on the heart up here. But again, I'm not sure if it's going to catch in the light. There's not quite so much sparkle gel pen on this page, but there's little bits here and there. So again, yeah, I just really enjoyed doing this. As I say, I was in hospital, so I wasn't feeling my best. It's not my best work, but it was a nice distraction and it was fun to do. So that is from Calming Colouring for Kids. This one is by Marusha Belle. Okay, next up, I did join in a few kind of group buddy colours this month, which is a first for me. I've never done that before. The first one was in Boules de Poils, which is illustrated by Diane Dufour, and there is a monthly kind of group colour along, buddy colour, whatever you want to call it, on Instagram. It's hosted by Colourful Diary 2018 and Lavella's Colouring. Again, I will list all of this down below. The hashtag is Boules de Poils Colourful Lavella 2024. and they chose to do this page for May, and I just thought it was such a cute page that I decided to join in. This was so simple and quick and easy to do. I used my distress watercolor pencils for everything. I didn't add any pencil shading on top. I did use some Secure Jelly Roll Stardust just to go, I went around the outside of my flowers and the outside of my stems and leaves, and also just added a little touch to the bottom of my clouds. Whether or not you can see that, I don't know, but there it is there. And I just used a little bit of white gel pen to add some highlight details. So a really quick and simple page, but it's so cute. This book is just adorable. It was my first page in this book, I think. Yeah, it is. Yeah, my first page in this book as well. I am hoping that I can join in with the June page, which is actually the next page over. It's these two little otters, and I just think this is so cute. So I'm looking forward to doing that one as well. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun, and there were some beautiful, beautiful versions of this page that I saw floating around on Instagram. So that is Boule de Pois by Diane Dufour. Okay, forgive me for starting and stopping, just needed to grab a drink of water. So the next page I did is another kind of group buddy color on Instagram. This is for the book Minimania by Gabi Wolf. It's Minimania Volume 1. And this one is hosted by Colouring Bumblebee, aka Jess, on Instagram and on YouTube here. And every month she chooses, well, she chooses 3 pages which get voted on, and the one with the most votes gets chosen for that month. So the one for May was this page, and I just thought it was super cute. I've only done one other page in this book, so I really did want to do a few more pages. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. So I used Copic markers to base everything, as you can see, and then went over the top with my Brute Fruna square pencils to add some shading. Very, very simple shading. I didn't do anything drastic to this, just kept it really, really simple. I used Sparkle Pot pen for the border. Is it Sparkle Pot? Yeah, Sparkle Pot pen for the border, and on the kind of little colanders, which I wanted to look silver, I used white Secure Jelly Roll to go around the edge of my little flowers here and to add the dots on my toadstool house. And I used a black Secured glaze pen for my lanterns. I'm not sure that you can see that a great deal in there, but it is there. So yeah, this was just a really fun, I also used glaze pen on my little ladybird spots. But yeah, just a really fun little page to do. Again, I'm hoping to join in for June, which is this page. So I'm hoping I can get that one done as well. But yeah, fun little ones. That's for the hashtag Complete Minimania, hosted by Colouring Bumblebee. And yeah, again, there were some really cute versions of this page. Really, really lovely. So that is from Minimania by Gabi Wolf. Okay, next up I did do some mermaids for Mermaid, obviously. And the first one I did was an Enchanted Faces, Mermaids, Fairies and Fantasy pocket-sized colouring book by Hanna. And I chose to do this page. Well, I'm actually working through this book in order. I haven't done as many pages lately as I would like, but I've done a fair few pages in this book now, and this was the next page in the book, which just so happened to be a mermaid, perfect for Mermaid. And I decided to do this one for the hashtag Pink Mermania, which was hosted by Samways Colouring, and he just wanted you to colour a mermaid with I think it was pink hair and a pink tail. So obviously I followed that rule and created this one. As with all the pages in this book, I base everything with alcohol markers. I used my Copic markers for this one, and then I used some Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils on top to add some shading. I used Jelly Roll Stardust in various places, so kind of on her little kind of pearls or beads or whatever they are. I used them, where else did I use them? Oh, on my shell, some of my shells there as well. And then obviously for the border, I did also go around her hair with the Jelly Roll Stardust to kind of try and create some sparkle. I'm not sure if that's showing up on camera very well, but it is there. And then I used a Jelly Roll White for all of the little highlight details that I added in there. But yeah, nice, quick and easy page and a lot of fun to do. And that was for Samway's Colouring Pink Mermaids hashtag. And that's Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn. Okay, next up, a book that I had not touched previously. So it was really cool to pull this one out. I had kind of forgotten about this book and I was a little bit kind of unsure of what I wanted to do one day, and I was flicking through books and I pulled this one out. It's a Creative Haven book called Enchanted, and it's illustrated by Marjorie, and it's not my favorite book. There's lots of kind of Zen doodly pages in here which are not my favorite, but I do love some of the images, and I found this beautiful mermaid, so I thought she was perfect for Mermaid. So for this one, I actually did this one for the hashtag Mermaid Elm Colours 2024, hosted by Elm Colours, and also for the hashtag Colour Your Hoard May 2024, which is hosted by Lavella's Colouring and T's World of Adult Colouring. And I chose to do it for that hashtag because I've had this book for a while now and hadn't done anything in it, so it was really good to get a page done. So for this one, Elm Colours, Erica, had a bunch of different colour palettes for her mermaids, and one of the colour palettes was jewel toned, and I thought that would work perfectly with this page, so I went with a jewel toned mermaid for this. Again, I used alcohol markers. I used a mixture of Copics and Ohuhu markers, so you can see I based everything. My Copic markers are running out, so I'm gradually switching over to my Ohuhus, but I'm trying to use up my Copics while I can, but some of them are getting a little low and not working particularly well, especially my blues. So I think I used Ohuhu markers for the blue background. I used Staedtler Design Journey pencils on top to add a little bit of shading. There's not a huge amount of shading on here, just very simple and basic. Again, used lots of Jelly Roll Stardust on my shells, in particular around her scales. Where else did I use it? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Inside the starfish as well. I used Jelly Roll White, Secure Jelly Roll White for all of the bubbles, and Pentel Sparkle Pop for the border. So that was it for that page. I'm hoping some of the shine will show up. I'm not sure if it's going to catch the light, but yeah, so this was a really fun one to do, and I was really happy to have this page done. It is actually this page that she's got illustrated. I obviously went a lot brighter with my colors to fit in with that jewel toned mermaid, and yeah, I really like how it turned out, so I'm really happy with that one. So that was from Enchanted by Marjorie Sarnett. Then I have kind of fallen in love with Diane Dufour. I'm a bit late to the party with that one because I know a lot of people have fallen in love with Diane Dufour, but probably quicker than me. So I ordered Saran du Monde, which is Mermaids of the World, I think, and I received it quite late into May, probably around about the 20th, 21st of May. So I decided I had to get a page done for Mermaid, and I chose to do this one. So it was a nice, quite simple page, and I chose to use a colour palette, again, a Sarah Renee Clark colour palette. Just kind of pulled one out that I thought would work, and yeah, tried to do those colours on this page. So for this one, I used my Polychromos and Arteza Expert pencils. I did the whole page in pencil. There's no basing with anything else. I used a little bit of Jelly Roll Stardust on her tail, just on the kind of markings on her tail. I'm not sure if the light is going to catch that. Sorry, I haven't chosen the best time of day to record really, but it's on there. And I've also used Secura Jelly Roll in white for all of the kind of highlight details. This page was a lot of fun to do, and again I did it for Elm Colours hashtag, which was Mermaid Elm Colours 2024. Didn't really stick to one of her colour palettes for this page, but we could call it jewel toned, I guess. But this was a lot of fun to do. I really enjoyed that one, and I'm really enjoying using my colour palettes for pages at the moment. As you'll see as we go through, I've used quite a few this month. So that was from Saran du Monde by Diane Dufour. Okay, I've just turned my desk lamp on to try and shed a little bit more light. It might be a bit glary, but the next book is A Million Mermaids by Lulu Mayo. And again, I had not coloured in this book previously, so I felt I really wanted to do a page in here for Mermaid. And I chose to do, I hope that light's not awful, I chose to do this cute little one with the wreath. Again, I used a colour palette, as you can see there. So one of my Sarah Renee Clark colour palettes. Sorry, I'm going to try turning it off and see if that's any better. I don't know which is better. I'll leave it off for now because it's a bit glary. Yeah, so for this one, just really simple. I used Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils and Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust. I used Stardust mostly on kind of like bits and pieces on my flowers, and I did go over her hair as well with the Stardust. So yeah, there is a little bit of sparkle and shine there. I kept this one really simple. I did add just a very light touch of that tealy blue in the background, but I kept it very, very soft. Decided not to do anything else in the background and just left it, and I just thought that was really cute. Such a cute page. Really love this one. And yeah, that was the color palette that I chose. I just loved the kind of bright, kind of spring summery looking kind of palette. It was quite a nice soft palette, but it's got lots of bright colors. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So that one was A Million Mermaids by Lulu Mayo. Next up, I have Petite Poupée, which translates to Little Dolls. This is a Art Therapy Hatchet Heroes book, and this one is illustrated by, I think it's Capucine Sauvignon. Yeah, hope I'm saying that correctly. This is such a cute book, and this was my first picture in this book, first page in this book. And I did this as a buddy colour with the lovely Megan from Disney Meg's Colouring. And we chose this cute little Ariel page, of course, for Mermaid. So every month, Disney Meg's Colouring does a movie theme, and her movie of the month was obviously Ariel, the Little Mermaid. So we did this page for her hashtag, which is Colour Disney with Meg. And I really like how this one turned out. I had a lot of fun. So for this one, I used my Arteza Expert pencils. I absolutely loved the way they worked on this paper. They were so nice to use. It was my first time using them. I bought a set a little while ago. I hadn't used them, and I decided I wanted to pull them out and try them, and I love them. I really wish I could get the 120 set. I don't think they're available anymore. I don't know. I can't find them anyway, but really lovely pencils. Really enjoyed using those. I used some distressed watercolor pencils for the background. I kept it fairly simple, a slightly darker shade in the corners and on the edges, and then just a lighter blue in the middle. I used Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust again on my shells, mostly just a touch of it on the kind of stripes on my shells. I'm hoping you might be able to see that in the light. And some white Signo gel pen for all of my highlight details and bubbles, and some Sakura black glaze pen for the little eyes. Again, I'm not sure that they're gonna shine very much in this light, but it's there, and I just loved this page. So I will pop Megan's page up here for you to have a look at. She did a beautiful job with hers as well. Absolutely love it. Obviously we've used quite a similar color palette because, you know, she's Ariel, she's gonna look like Ariel, but really enjoyed doing this one, and I'm hoping I can get a couple more pages done in this book in the near future. So that is Petite Poupée, Art Therapy Hatchet Heroes, and it's illustrated by Capucine Sauvignon. Okay, next up was a buddy colour with the lovely Jess from Colouring Bumblebee. And we chose to do a page in Polar Bear's Adventure Cruise by Yuki Shiratori. I have to check that because I can never remember. I always call it something different. It was my first page in this book, and we actually ended up doing a double page spread, which was this one. Oh my goodness, this page was a labor of love, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So these two pages. So I decided I would base everything with Tombow dual brush pens, and I did base everything apart from the sky with the dual brush pens, and I completely freaked out because it looked so streaky and messy, and I really thought I had ruined my page. But I decided to try and trust the process and see where it took me. I added some pencil shading over the top with my Caran d'Ache Pablos, and it did end up smoothing everything out quite nicely. There are still some kind of little patchy areas here and there, but on the whole, I think it turned out pretty well. I used Faber-Castell Albert Dürer pencils for the background. I used Jelly Roll Stardust for little bits in my flowers, the center of my flowers, that sort of thing. I used a white Signo gel pen to go around the ice in my iceberg, and also to add some little highlight details here and there and various bits and pieces. And I used a gold Signo gel pen to add some little details. Where did I add that? Oh, to my flowers. Sorry, I was thinking it was on the table, but just to the centers of my flowers, I've got some gold gel pen there. Hopefully you can see that. And I used my Aiuli watercolor paints for the ice and for my little butterflies to add a little bit of shimmer and shine there as well. I'm hoping you can see that. But yeah, this page, wow, it was a bit of a mammoth page, and there's so much detail in here. It's not my favorite page. I'm not completely in love with it. I'm so pleased it's done. I like elements of the page. I really like the way my purple flowers turned out. I thought they looked really, really cool. I quite like the color of the grass that I've used here. I like the way I've shaded my polar bear, and little bits and pieces. But as a whole, I don't love it. I think maybe I should have gone for a more limited color palette, but I'm so happy I've done it. It was definitely a learning curve with the Tombow dual brush pens, and I will pop Jess's beautiful page up here on screen for you to take a look at. Hers is just gorgeous. Absolutely love the colors that she used. I think she took inspiration from, there is a little kind of thumbnail of the one side of the page there. So I think she took some inspiration from this. And I absolutely love the way hers has turned out. Thank you so much, Jess, for colouring with me. And I'm so glad I've got a page, or 2 pages technically done in this book. But wow, this was a mammoth. It really was. But I really enjoyed it. I did love colouring this page. So that is from Polar Bear's Adventure Cruise by Yuki Shiratori. Okay, 2 books left. The first one is Erie's World Literature. This is a project book with the lovely Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven. We are working through this book from front to back. It was our first page this month, and I don't think Kate's finished hers yet, but I have finished mine, and I wanted to share it with you. So I have done this. Now, this was a lot of fun to do. I actually really enjoyed this page. I used Inktense for everything, just Inktense. I didn't use any pencil shading over the top. I used a lot of Signo metallic gold pen all over, on like the details on my books, on my shelves, on the door and the frame and that sort of thing. I used some white Signo gel pen. I wanted to try and make her dress look like a tartan dress. I think I failed at that, but I did attempt so I think it's okay. I used black Sakura Jelly Roll glaze for this kind of stained glass window. that's probably my least favorite part of the page, if I'm honest. I don't love that, but yeah, it was interesting. And I used a vintage Vauthey Distress Oxide ink to kind of age this notice, whatever this is. I haven't translated this, but I used the Distress Oxide ink to add some color to that to make it look a little bit older and aged and fit in more with the page rather than leaving it the nice bright white that it was originally. Yeah, I really enjoyed this page. So I just, like I say, I just used Inktense and it actually made the page go a lot quicker. I chose some color palettes. They're very muted. I wanted it to look like an old-fashioned library, so I kind of went for old-fashioned colors. Does that make sense? Old-fashioned colors. So I didn't use every single color here. I pulled this kind of green was this one. I used the browns in various places. I used the red to add a pop of red and the blues, but that was pretty much it. And I kind of just went with what I had and tried to make it work. So I think I had about, how many colors did I have? I think I had about seven or eight pencils of my Inktense pulled, and those were the only pencils that I used on the page. So it made it really really easy in a way, because like all these books were a little bit overwhelming and I wanted to keep it looking cohesive. I didn't want to add loads and loads of color. So using those color palettes really helped me just to kind of pare it down and keep it nice and simple. But I do really like the way it's turned out. I think it's turned out quite nicely. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm relatively happy with this one. So that was a lot of fun, and that was from Aries World Literature. As I say, buddy colour with my lovely friend Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven. She hasn't finished hers yet. She's got so much on her plate at the moment and there is no rush. So it's just, we're enjoying it. So that's the main thing. Okay, and my very last, oh, my books are all sliding away. My very last pages, I did two in here. This is Moon Valley by Maria Trolle. Again, it is a project book, and I am doing this one with Dabbler D on Instagram. Again, I will leave her link below. And we are again working through this book front to back, and we're trying to do 2 pages a month. So we did these 2 pages. Let me just move all of this out of the way. So I think these are my 2 favorite pages of the month. Really happy with how these 2 turned out. So let's start with this little guy here. This was my most liked picture on Instagram ever. I've never had so many likes on a picture, so I think other people like him as well, but I am really happy with how he turned out. And I chose a very simple color palette. Again, I used my Sarah Renee Clark color cubes, and I chose this color palette, and I just thought it worked really well. I loved the combination of colors. Obviously my blue is a little bit different to the blue on the card here. I couldn't find any pencils that really worked with that, and I actually rather like this blue in it instead. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to do. I used Prismacolor pencils. I used Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust just to add a little touch into the center of my flowers. I don't know that you'll see it a great deal. It's very tiny amount. I used I've got Gold Signo. Oh, Gold Signo on the little flowers, and I used the Jelly Roll Stardust on the bigger flowers. So yeah, I used what else? Oh, I made a bit of a mistake. I didn't realize that this was his tail, and I started by coloring this green kind of grass area, and I colored the tail in the green grass. Obviously not this part. I realized that was his tail, but I didn't realize that this bit was the tail. So I had colored it green, and I had really burnished my Prismacolor pencils in. So when I went to rub it out, it would not rub out completely. And when I went over with the lighter kind of colors that I wanted to use for the tail, it showed up. So what I tried to do was use a little bit of white pigment ink. Where is it? I've got it here somewhere. It's Kuretake white pigment ink. Here it is. So I used some of that and just kind of painted it over, and then tried to use my pencil on top. It has not come out perfect, but it's not too bad. I don't think it's that noticeable until you look really closely. But that was a little boo-boo that I made on that page. But other than that, I really love how this one turned out, and I just thought it was so much fun to colour. And then we did this page as our second page. So for this one, again, I used a colour palette. My Sarah Renee Clark colour cube got a lot of use this month, and I chose this colour palette. And I knew that I wanted it to be a night sky, but I wanted it to have a little bit of that kind of tealy colour in it as well. And just lots of, I just really wanted to keep it a nice kind of muted, simple colour palette, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out as well. So again, Prismacolor pencils, Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust on the border. I used the gold. No, sorry, I used Gold Signo on the border, not Stardust. So Gold Signo gel pen on the border. I used my Ayuli watercolors for the moon, which has got a really nice shimmer and shine to it. And that was it. That was everything I used on this page. And I'm really happy with both of these pages. Definitely my two favorite pages of this month, and I'm looking forward to doing the next two pages in this book. So this was my buddy color with Dabula D on Instagram. I'll link her down below, or list her down below, so you can go and check her pages. They turned out beautifully. I will pop them up here as well, so you can have a look at them. Yeah, but just a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. And that is it. That's all of my pages for this month, or rather for May. We're now into June. On the 1st of June I'm filming this. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, if you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you come back and join me again. Let me know which was your favorite of the month. I would love to hear from you, and thank you so much for joining me. Take care, everybody. Bye.